Hello, 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 chaps. It's turn 17 of the match 63 of the tournament, and I skipped several turns because I realised I was rambling and that it was getting tedious, and there wasn't much to talk about. So Femini has finally finished his expansion up here, just now on turn 17, so he's pretty cucked. His capital is right here, and it took him that long to get into there. Jomon, totally cucked. He lost some battles to Peren, and Pangaea apparently lost 30 Minotaurs to also a bump with Peren. So both of these guys are cucked, this guy's cucked, and they're total noobs. In fact, I was talking to one of the players, I think it was Pangaea, and he said, "Oh, it's funny, I'm the best out of my little friend group that plays Dominions, but and I'm getting totally smashed here in the tournament." And I said, "Well, how many thousands of hours do your friends have in the game? And are you guys even on the autism spectrum?" And he just kind of laughed and said, "We're new." So, this guy's actually a normie. Not only are they noobs, they're not even autistic, and so they're getting crushed because of that. Fortunately, I'm autistic. Also, the Peren player is definitely autistic because he was telling me that, "Oh, come on, let's kill Jomon. Join me in killing Jomon." Because Jomon won't agree to my border offer. and I said, "Well, that's weird, because Jomon immediately agreed to my border offer, which I that's really strange. That's really strange." And then the Peren player, he copy pasted his Diplo with Jomon, and it's so funny. So Peren is a pretty good player. He's probably better than me, although I can still win because I think I have the more overpowered nation. But anyway, so he's such a fucking tryhard. His Diplo to this Jomon player, instead of just saying, well, yeah, thinking to himself, okay, I'm stronger than the Jomon player, so I'll ask for a favourable border, and the Jomon player's filling his expansion. So what should he have done? He should have just said, well, here's the kind of border I'm after, what do you say? And then if the Jomon player disagrees and says, I want more land, which he probably even won't, because he was like clearing his cap circle, or this province still India and so on. But if he did, then you could say, well, hang on, I've got some pretty... Here's a screenshot of my blessed cavalry, and I'm pretty strong right now. So, I actually think we should have... but instead, what the Peren player did, rather funnily, was immediately launched in, started his Diplo with this noob. Imagine the first thing you say to a noob, as someone with thousands of hours in the game, the first thing you say is like, you just berate them with phrases like, I sincerely doubt you have a functional bless build, and oh, your expansion is terrible, and he was effectively patronising him and berating him for being weak and incompetent. And then the German player just replies, well, if you can kill me, just come do it, because he's got some pride. And then it's just such a stupid interaction. And of course, it doesn't really matter because the Peren player can just come and kill him anyway. You look at Peren's borders. He might have this province yet, I don't know. And I was wrong, this is not a three-way province, it's all five link into this big cavern complex. So I could actually, rather interestingly, march an army. So let's say I want to go after Peren, and let's say this is Pangaea, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hang on, how do we count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is probably Peren. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is probably Peren, or maybe this is, or maybe this is. Anyway, let's say I want to get there. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or I could go, from this fort, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not letting me click. Like 5. Is this the cave entrance? 5, 6, 7. And it would be one province longer to get there. And so I probably wouldn't do that, actually. I'd probably just go along here, because Jomon is so cucked that I wouldn't even be stepping on his toes to go there. But it's an interesting thing. I guess this is a place to be greedy. If I expand here, then potentially all other 4 players could attack me there, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, what's my thoughts on the game? So I was, in earlier turns, I was considering attacking Jomon or Femini, and I sort of shilly-shallied a lot. Now I'm thinking I should definitely attack Peren and no one else first, because there's not really much to be gained from attacking these guys. If I attack Femini, because it just gives me more gold and more provinces and more gems, but it's after quite a big delay, so maybe I should do it, but I would rather go after the single other player who is a genuine threat to win the game. So let's zoom in, right? I've zoomed in, and now it basically... Okay, now if I zoom in this far, it basically contains this roughly contains all of my provinces, right? If I'm zoomed in this far. Now, if we go over to Peren, it sort of roughly contains all of his provinces, but then he's also got this bit. So I'd say he's got about 8 provinces more than, 4 provinces more than me. Maybe he's not actually that much bigger than I am. I mean, so let's think. He's on the border of, he's almost bordering 3 lakes, right? And I'm actually bordering 2 lakes, because I've got my lake and this lake. I don't quite reach over here. So I think Peren is slightly bigger than me, but maybe he's not actually that much bigger than me. So that would be quite good. So I don't actually need to get aggressive against him. I'm actually doing okay in terms of expansion. Oh, and I finally took this province back from no one, because the barbarians they must have lost me about 1,500 gold because I took so long to come and kill them. But I finally did it. I finally expanded into this place as well. Oh yes, and I've been expanding in the caves. I gave my pretender these items, which are probably completely pointless, because darkness would actually only be -3 if I didn't have this. The dark vision 50 is just like +2 defense and attack skill. So it's actually fucking useless. This is so bad, and I even forgot to use the hammer for it. Although I am now using the dwarven hammer to make alquils. For some reason, this reduces the nameplate's protection value by 1 compared to her inbuilt armor, which is the same protection value. I really don't understand why, and I think these values are actually unchanged, and it's just the overarching value that gets reduced by 1, even casting Iron Skin. So I don't know if that actually means anything or changes anything. Anyway, she killed 50 cavemen, and they couldn't land a hit on her. They didn't do a single point of damage. No, they did about 2 points of damage through Mistform. The body ethereal, high attack skill, defense skill, parry, almost as much protection as the cavemen have damage, which is 28, and what else, Mistform and ethereal. Yeah, she didn't really, they did no damage at all. Research, so I want construction 5 for all kinds of things, dowsing rods, more research items, although actually, I don't know which ones I would even be making. I can't make the death research item. I can only make the nature one with my god, and I should probably save the gems. Hang on. Okay, so I can make 3 of the dreamstones or 4 even. When I get construction 5, I can make 4 dreamstones, or even more if I use the dwarven hammer. And they're really good, actually. So, in fact, I'm going to send out this mage on an exploratory mission, because I really want more. I think the communable ones here are the most valuable. So I'll send out this one and script her to retreat, because he's just wearing fancy robes. He's still male, isn't he? Gualtier, probably male. I want more glamour gems, so I'm going to site search glamour. My Diplo, I think, is good with both Germon and Pan, because I've already contacted them in a friendly way. Perrin has stepped on their toes, so I've got good Diplo there. Femini, the Diplo is pretty bad, but we also know Femini's Bless now. So if we look at Femini's Bless, Twist Fate on a Dormant Incarnate. So this is some crazy shit. It's terrible. And, I'm not trying to be negative. These guys are just noobs, and it's kind of cool that noobs sign up for the tournament, but I don't need to be afraid of them, do I? I don't know either of these guys' blesses yet, but I do know Piren's. So this is your standard. Undying and Enchanted Blood is basically mandatory on Cav Sacreds, where the horse is sacred, and it's a good horse, in my opinion. Blood Surge, well, it fits with Lance Charges, and then the attack skill kind of helps you continue to get it, and they do have 19 base damage, which is like 20 with the Blood Surge. So this is quite a good design. I would usually go for Heroism or Defense Skill, but I think the Blood Surge is actually better because of the Lance, and because it helps to give you... it helps with your encumbrance problem, which is... it's only 5 encumbrance, but these cavalry are so excellent that they will easily survive, and you kind of have to... They will kill so much that actually they might spend 20 turns killing things continually without dying, and then they would fall asleep potentially. So the Blood Surge helps a bit with that. So I think that's a very good design. A little bit better than what I would have done with the defense skill or the heroism. So I'm quite impressed by that. And of course, they have inbuilt dark vision, and which doesn't really matter, although he can cast Twilight. But inbuilt dark vision with Twilight could be pretty brutal against my swordsmen. Another thing is that they have, and this unit probably will decide the game. Like, if I can easily kill these troops, then I think I win the game. If I can't, then maybe he just wins it. It really may just come down to that. And unfortunately, wow, 10 fire resistance. So yeah, I can't really do much in the way of evocations. I guess he didn't take any further cold resistance. So, actually, let's have a look at Falling Frost here. 10 armor piercing damage. Okay. I can't actually remember exactly how resistances work. I think it's a bit complicated, but yeah, 10 armor piercing damage against 20 armor, so already it's sort of average of 0 damage, and then -5 from the resistances. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to kill them with that. Oh, they are demons though. And is this even? Is this even frost damage? It's not frost damage, and it doesn't have an MR check, and it's got good. Okay, this is quite nice. Cleansing water. I need to remember this. Evocation 6. So yeah, I can't really rely on frost or water damage, which is a shame because I like to do that on this nation. But I can do some light thunder strikes potentially if I make a whole load of these guys, which I am planning to. Then yeah, I can just communion up and put the ones with air 2 as the masters, and then they can spam out a lot of lightning damage. Also, if I stack reinvigoration on this guy, and why wouldn't I? Especially in my Dominion, Summon Earth Power brings this to 9 reinvigoration. The boots would bring it to 12, and then a Girdle of Might, or actually a Amulet of Resilience would bring it to 17 reinvigoration. And look at this juicy ability. With 17 reinvigoration and maybe Power of the Spheres to start off, Air 4, Shockwave spam in melee. This is going to be amazing. I think I'm going to absolutely rape a stack of Pirenne Cavalry. That is my goal. My goal isn't even necessarily to win, because there's so many things that could happen to get in the way of that. But my first goal is to just finish up expansion, and I think when I'm done down here and I've taken Koromu... Did I even make a Holy 3 Mage? I think I'd never made one yet. Okay, I'm going to make one, because if you look at all the thrones, they're good. Chains, you get, on balance, this is a good scale exchange, even though I'm already at Misfortune 2. The order is just very good for blood hunting. Oh, and I get blood slaves, which is very good because I've got national discounts and a fallen angel summon. So my blood slaves are efficient. So this is a very good throne to get, even with taking me down to Misfortune 3, it's still good. This one, well, Sloth will hit my troop production a bit, but that doesn't really matter because, I can just build more forts. It doesn't really matter in the long run. Magic, +1 magic, very, very useful, and some gems. And the gems, actually, this would help with research as well, the glamour gems. So that's Golden Throne, and then Golden Throne, well, this would only be plus 10% income, only. Okay, the Golden Throne would be very good. This would be maybe not very useful, actually. Don't I already have these paths? Do I even have fire? Okay, so I don't have fire on a communable any fort mage. Like, this guy's my basic... Yeah, so it would actually change my spellcasting abilities a little bit, but it wouldn't be terribly useful against the demons to have lots of fire. And I already have plenty of astral, so nice researchers, decent mage in general, but actually the gold here, just the gold, is not really that exciting. Thaumaturgy bonus, 20, I don't know, like, does anyone ever even research this, except to cast teleport, I suppose? Like, hey, mirror walk. Yeah, I don't know what I'm actually going to do. I can bring some mages maybe that are diseased. Oh, hang on, don't I have disease healer? Don't I have a disease healing guy? Fucking disease healer. Shit, this guy is about to die and he's a cap only, and I completely forgot about that. So I'm going to make these. I need to make that. Oh, I can't believe he might actually die now because I forgot about it. I even mentioned that in an earlier video. Okay, so have I discussed everything to death? I think so. I kind of rambled. Oh yes, I was going to make. Okay, so I'm not going to make one of these. I'm going to make one of these to go and claim the throne. Oh, and yes. So Thaumaturgy probably not useful. Outer throne, magic +1. What? Magic +1 and 3 pearls versus this one. Why? Why is this so shit? This is totally dog shit compared to the Throne of Dreams is fucking dog shit compared to the Outer Throne. I mean, actually, I would like the glamour gems, but still, an entire scale difference in exchange for 1 gem. Why? Why? Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping for the Throne of Chains. Throne of Chains, Throne of Dreams, those are the best ones. And it looks like, well, I wouldn't see the Sloth Scales if they were there. This also doesn't have Sloth Scales. In fact, any of them have local pre-claiming, increases magic. So Gates in Conjunction is magic. And so we've got a Sloth Throne and a Magic Throne. And this, I don't, turmoil, so it's probably just my scales that have done this. Or his scales, actually. Probably not. Yeah, so looks like I'm not getting either of the ones I wanted, actually. Yeah, they're not sloth, so I'm not getting Throne of Chains. Oh well. That is turn 17. And I'm still making a bunch of swordsmen. You know, the game is going to be 75 turns long, so I was considering cancelling my NAP with Peren as soon as I've taken Koromu. But maybe I should go and kill Febini. I don't know. Because he's the one I haven't buttered up yet, and I didn't sign an NAP with him either. And he's going to be so easy to kill. And maybe I should, like... It's the question of, should I aggress on Peren because he's doing so well for himself? Or should I aggress... Like, should I attack him or just grow myself? Which one is more important? And it basically comes down to which of us has the better late game versus early game. And I think I just returned to the fact that I have a better mage core than his. Like, let's actually double check on his mage core. So his cap-only mages are very good. He's got this guy, well, very good. I mean, this is kind of mediocre, actually, for magic. Pretty interesting for thugging, but for magic, nothing special. This is like blood 3. You can just impair in blood if you have enough spare blood slaves. So, yeah, they got bloods. Actually, these mages are dog shit. 4 paths. And blood, like I said, you can just empower in it. So, or you can Sabbath it in combat. So, extra levels of blood. This is terrible. This nation has terrible blood, glamour, air, and some earth and fire. I guess this is the only... Even this is kind of a mediocre mage. Okay, he can make a huge amount of them, and he can get a lot of research because he doesn't have to make forts to train them. And they can all Sabbath, and they can all cast, Thunderstrike or whatever. So this is quite a good mage, but it's not really that amazing. And it's just glamour blood. Blood. This guy's blood. This guy's glamour blood. This guy is glamour blood. Holy. Glamour blood with a tiny bit of... with nothing else, really. Glamour blood. Wouldn't you know? So his magic diversity is absolutely fucking dog shit. So I am reinforcing my opinion that his late game is poor as a nation. His position on the map will probably secure him some good indie mages, and he'll be able to do some cool stuff with summoning succubi. He might even steal mages off these two. So it's not going to be terrible, but it's not Marignon. Like, Marignon has not every single magic path. Every single one. And and I also don't have Sacred Cavalry. So I think I will plan on attacking him with my Titan. Teleporting my Titan on top of him with a bunch of reinvigoration items on attack, on advance and cast spells. I think that will not die to his cavalry that have 20 damage and no magic weapons. And if I give her a fire shield, she won't die to Illusory Warrior. And I give her a magic item, a magic resistance item, she won't die to the glamour spells either. So the false damage. So I think I can actually teleport her on top. And then I can do teleport gems and send her 2 Astral Pearls and script her to cast Returning, assuming that she's not able to actually keep rampaging around wherever she is on the map, which would be very, very funny indeed. Because look at, on these border areas, I think there will always be some provinces with low candles. And I think I can reach out to Pan and Jomon and ask them to tell me where there's somewhere with low candles and a bunch of Peranian heavy cavalry. I mean, imagine if he shows up with 60 of these guys, and they each cost 95 gold. It would be very juicy to kill them. God, Jomon is so cucked. He's never going to Kraken King with an army of Krakens. He's never going to be able to get this Palisades back up, in my opinion. He's so cucked. It's unreal how cucked he is. And Femini is extremely cucked as well. So I think I'll leave Jomon intact, because I've already got his throne. I'm already next to our throne, our intermediate throne. I think I'll leave him in B, and I think maybe although my troops are down here, so maybe I should attack Jomon, except that then he's kind of obligated to fight me, which is, it'd be nice to grab these provinces off him and then call it quits, but that's kind of not likely. So I could go one turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, 5 turns, 6 turns, 7 turns, 8 turns, 9 turns, and then I'd be up in here. So I could be besieging Femini in like 15 turns, which would be turn 30. It'd take me a while to get there, but by the time I do get there, I might have a couple of lifelong protections. I would have all these extra swordsmen that I'm training, so I'd be able to crush Femini. And I think my Titan is deterring Peren until then. Jomon can't touch me. Pan won't touch me. So I think I can just take the time to do that. Yeah, I think I'll just take the time to kill Femini before aggressing on Pirenne, especially since, like I just said, meanwhile, Pirenne's own expansion could potentially be meddled with by my Pretender God. So that, and I have actually reached out and offered that, so to Jomon and Pan. But I need to research all these first to achieve that, and my research is terrible because I'm insisting on troop ferrying with mages and other terrible behaviours. So, why does it stay behind troops? Cast spells. Yeah, I'm site searching a lot. I'm being very greedy in that sense. These guys are moving around to blood hunt, that kind of thing. But that's life. That's turn 17. I've rambled enough. Toodles.